like Lord of the Rings. I mean, not the movie. It sucked. It was horrible. Endless torture. All of it. Never wanted to see it again. But the books. Books I discovered when I was about 12. And, you know, when I was 12, it was back in the Stone Ages. And it had to be read to us by the only literate people, the Druids, who would read it off of stone tablets down at the local henge. This particular story was translated by an ancient druid who needed to conduct a sacrifice every full moon in order to retain her youth and stamina. It was really uncomfortable because whenever a sacrifice was mentioned, everybody would turn and stare at me. You know, kind of like an obvious expectation, but I really just wasn't ready to commit to that level of the ritual yet. I mean, the ritual looked super painful, and aside from the obvious benefits of being 12, confused, and close to really hot druid action, it just didn't look like it would end well for me. The next problem was that nobody really wanted to get into this Lord of the Rings thing. I mean, it was fantastic. It had monsters and heroes, villains, quests, all the things you want out of your high fantasy. But none of the other folks were actually really into it. I felt really abandoned, and the expectation that they would then get to hear the results of my ritual sacrifice seemed unfair. I didn't know what to do, and I was afraid of this ritual. But one night, most of the tribe and I were just standing around the henge. You know, most of them were just looking at the rocks, wishing they were cell phones. And I finally decided I needed to hear the end of this story. I went up to the lead druid and just asked in front of everybody, since she was ignoring the entire tribe and refusing to tell the story until she got her stupid ritual done. Okay, I'm here. I'm ready. As she grinned, and she grabbed me and put me down at the ritual table. I was so not looking forward to this. And I was right. The pain was incredible. But anyway, everybody took their positions and stared at me as she prepared. Didn't offer to help, didn't offer to do anything. It was all on me. Finally, she was done. She readied her ritual knife, raised it high, and came down and cut that steak into thin little slices. She swept off into the soup and pushed it at me. That soup was nearly boiling, and somehow, in spite of all the preparation, the steak was made of rubber. It was the worst thing. But I finally got to hear the end of the Lord of the Rings story. Now, everybody else enjoyed it too, which is great. It was because I was willing to step up and do what was necessary, being uncomfortable, that I finally got to hear the final chapters of The Lord of the Rings. And the moral is that if you really want something, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable to sometimes go and get it. Despite all the other people also getting to trail along in your wake, it's about what you want. So if you're after something and you think it'd be great, maybe it's the new beach body, or maybe it's the next degree, or maybe it's just being able to run 100 feet, or maybe it's just cleaning your room. How uncomfortable are you willing to be in order to accomplish your goal? If you're not willing to be uncomfortable enough to go get it, what are you afraid of exactly that's holding you back?